Peace, my people, was good. Thank you for tuning in to your Spiritual HG podcast with your girl, me, SB. What's up? I hope everybody is having a good Sunday. I hope everybody has had a good weekend. I hope everybody is preparing for the week. If not, I suggest you go ahead because it's coming whether we want it to or not. Today, I decided that I was going to take it back a little bit to how I got to this point in my life. So, I believe that we are all spiritual beings living a human existence, meaning from the time we are born, we are on this journey. My mentor likes to say that, or ask, how long have you consciously been on your path? My answer to that is 4 years now. So 2018, I see, I'm trying to figure out how much of my business I want to give y'all. In 2018, I broke up with my ex of 6 years. And up to that point, I had moments where I would always trying to figure out what areas of my life that I can work on. To the point during that particular relationship, I went to counseling because the relationship wasn't flowing the way I thought it should have been flowing. It wasn't giving what it needed to give. And I'm the type of person that's going to check me first before I check anybody else. So I went to counseling, asked some questions. I won't say it wasn't beneficial, but it did help. It did, get my wheels turning. Anyway, after the breakup, I had the same questions that I had throughout those 6 years. What am I not doing? Why does this not feel the way I need it to feel? And so, of course, things happen after the relationship that really affected me in a way. It really affected me in a way to the point I really needed to figure it out. I don't have a long history of relationships. I've maybe had three real relationships. That one that lasted 6 years, and the other two they barely lasted a whole year. Because I was always looking for something in particular. Never knew what it was. So after that breakup, during the relationship, I went through depression and things of that nature. I went through it before the relationship, but even more so during this one because I was feeling lonely, even though I was not alone. For a little bit, I could have given that or blamed that on. Oh gosh, I just had a whole brain fart, y'all. I could have blamed it on. Why can't I think? Shit, forget it. So anyway, I had a baby, and I had a baby, and I just cannot think of what that term is to save my life right now. And I'm not about to start this podcast over. So anyway, I went through the depression here and there. Felt lonely when I wasn't alone. But after the relationship, some things transpired that really hurt me to the point where the depression was real. I'm also the type of person, though, that I don't like sitting in quote unquote negative emotions too long because I'm such a positive person. So I had to figure out how I can get rid of this depression. Of course, doing research, you learn of natural remedies and supplements that you can take. Nobody really tells you, the doctors never really tell you, oh, check your diet. It could have something to do with your diet. So I changed up my diet a little bit. I pretty much, looking back on it now, I pretty much decided to start really paying attention to what was causing this depression. And so, to me, I would tell anybody, this is a sidebar, I would tell anybody that if you're feeling depressed, figure out what your triggers are. Once you can figure out what your triggers are, you can finally figure out how to fix it. Remember, you can only fix what you can control. You can't control. So that's pretty much what I was doing. That breakup, I started seeing videos and posts. You know how you do. You see stuff that resonate with what you're going through. And there were a couple of people that I started following on YouTube. And it started with crystals, amethyst, and what was the other crystal? Rose quartz, because of course rose quartz represents love. So my heart is broken. How can I fix this? Well, let me get this crystal and just let me keep it on me. Let me keep it, keep it on me. So that's what I started doing. Had the crystals. Then as I'm looking over the properties, the healing properties and the meanings of these crystals, chakras came into play. So I'm looking at these chakra centers and things, and I'm like, okay. So that's how the rabbit hole started. Fast forward 4 years later, here I am. Over the last 4 years, I have realized that a lot of the times the healing that we do is usually surface level. Even now, I would say I'm in a good spot, but even now, I'm still finding things that I need to touch a little bit, right? And honestly, a lot of it at this point, I don't feel like it's mine. So when you hit your journey, they always, well, I ain't gonna say they, you hear that you're healing generational curses, right? It makes sense. I'm gonna say that. It makes sense. Without going too deep into it, it makes sense. I thought I was good. Well, I am good, but I thought I was further along than what I actually was. It wasn't until last week I was doing some reading on the chakras that I realized how deep certain healing goes, from abandonment issues, fear, so on and so forth. And I realized that a lot of that is not mine per se. And that's why I say it's never ending, this healing. But anyway, these last 4 years. So I told y'all to get sidetracked. So I found my mentor, Indra Ali. He was talking about altars. And the way I found him was I had a friend, shout out to that person, who was like, look up S. Ali Myers on YouTube. He talks about altars and all this other stuff. And I will tell the truth, for that first year or two after listening or researching altars, I was scared to death because I've seen a lot of scary movies. I'm not about to go to no altar. I don't want things moving around in my house. I don't want to hear things that go bump in the night. I don't want to do any of that. So I played with the altar here and there, but then I stopped. It was just too much fear. But once I really got connected through Teach's program, his spiritual accelerator program, and just really, start listening and seeing how it was working for other people, I put my altar back up. I've had my altar for 2.5 years consistently at my altar. I go to my altar when I'm sad. It may seem crazy to some, but there's nothing like having the comfort of a deceased loved one who is waiting for you to come to them so they can help. And I know it may sound crazy, but there has been times where during the moments where I was still depressed, I would just come to my altar and I would just sit. And when I tell you, I felt like I had family there wrapping their arms around me. It's a beautiful feeling. It really was. And so, as far as my journey, that's pretty much what it boils down to. It's this thing was probably all over the place, but that's okay. Y'all get the gist of it. That's how I got here. That's probably why I'm not going anywhere. I will say, sometimes I think, what if I would have put the same energy into Christianity when I was consciously trying to live, to quote unquote live like a Christian. Shit just didn't work. I'm not even gonna hold you. But I ain't trying to go back. Spirituality is what it is for me. I think the first person I've ever heard say it was my teach. He called it freestyle spiritualist, and that fits perfectly because while we are on this earth, of course, there are certain rules that we're supposed to follow. But as far as my life and who I am as a being, I don't like the rules. I don't follow any particular denomination. None of that works for me. I just do what I do, and I am at the most peace that I have ever been, truth be told. Really, I just wanted to come and give that small story. I am still trying to decide overall how much of my business I want to put y'all in. But that's the gist of my spiritual journey and how I got here. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I'm forgetting anything. I will say it's beautiful over here. So if you're considering getting into spirituality, you can hit me up and I can try my best to give you a resource of where to start. But in actuality, it's really what you are into. That's going to get you flowing down that rabbit hole because it is a lot. I will say, if by chance you just decide, well, let me get on YouTube and look up tarot readings or something, use your discernment. Everything won't resonate, and that's fine. What else? Oh, real quick, affirmations, right? So affirmations in the beginning, same person that introduced me to my mentor, used to always get on me about affirmations. Say your affirmations, affirmations. And I would say them and repeat them, but I didn't feel like anything was happening from it. My mindset wasn't changing, nothing. But it wasn't until maybe last year, maybe last year, where it really hit me that when you're saying these affirmations, you have to feel them. You have to believe them. You have to speak them as if they are already so. It's not just about saying them and you're going to be okay. No, you have to feel them. You have to make sure that intent behind them is strong. All this stuff. I mean, it sounds good to tell a person, say affirmations, but if they're not to the point of where they can feel said affirmations, it's honestly, this is just my opinion. What's the point? So but affirmations now, like I say them things right off the bat. If there's something I'm feeling in the moment, I say them. It just hit me. I think the next episode I will go a little more deeper into the things that I went through on this journey. Y'all know I don't even talk for 13 minutes right now, so I'm doing good. I'm gonna wrap it up for real quick. I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm about to start rambling and I don't want to do that. So before I go, please make sure you're following all of my socials for updates and motivation everywhere. Just look up at Your Spiritual HG. I'm going to always big up my teach. So if you would like daily inspiration to your email, go to www.indraemail.com and subscribe. And until next time, gods and goddesses, peace.